Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest preview. Can Iraola's men get their first win of the season in the 12:30 kickoff, the early kickoff tomorrow? I believe so. Come on, we've just had a massive boost with Bradley Barcola coming through the door. This should give the players, that confidence to go out there and beat a Nottingham Forest team who lost on the first day of the season to Leeds. They lost that one 1-0. But we know what Nottingham Forest can do at Anfield, don't we? Past two seasons, even when we won the league under Arne Slot, 24-25, they came early on in the season. I think that was the fourth game maybe. Hudson-Odoi scored. It was 1-0 that day. Last season was even worse. What was that? 3-0? 3-0. Igor Jesus, I remember, got one. It could have been more as well. Really bad day. That was the day when I started to realise that Arne Slot's time is ticking and fast. So are they going to do the hat-trick? Nottingham Forest fans will probably be quite confident coming into this one. They've got a new manager. They've got a new era. Glasner has taken over, another manager who always seems to do well against Liverpool, especially for Crystal Palace. Can coach a team very, very well. His defensive setup, the low blocks, just seems to know how to nullify Liverpool. So it'll be interesting to see what does happen tomorrow. But in terms of Liverpool, how are we going to go about it? How are we going to break them down? Are there going to be any changes? We'll run through teams in a moment, but I think a massive thing for Liverpool is to start fast. We didn't start fast against Newcastle. Well, to be fair, within the first 3 or 4 minutes before Elanga's goal, I thought we were zipping the ball about quite well. Xhaka was progressing it through to midfield into Gravenberch. But, the attack broke down. Gravenberch on the edge of the box, and then all three of our midfielders were forward. We know what happened after that. It's key that Liverpool don't do that again. We need to stop transitions. We need someone to come into that midfield and make sure they're almost holding the fort down. And that is where I would bring in a certain Trainioni. Trainioni should be playing this game of football. I've even debated Wataru Endo, to be honest. And I've seen a lot of people say Jeremy Xhaka should be pushed into defensive midfield. I think that's a bit too much for him at this stage. He can keep his place as centre-back, but he seems a good enough footballer on the ball to do so. So maybe Iraola will go down that route at some point, but I highly doubt it. The main candidate is Trainioni to come in, stiffen that midfield up, offer defensive protection, because the kid knows when to go and when not to go. He's a really intelligent player, and of course he's very good on the ball. That's the difference between him and an Endo. Endo is an outright DM. He will never go beyond the ball, really, and he's just looking to win it back and keep it simple. Trainioni has the ability to find some really dangerous passes in between the lines for a Gravenberch or for a Szoboszlai, and this would allow us to get Gravenberch a little bit further forward. My midfield would be Nyoni, slightly deeper, as the deepest midfielder. In the 8 box-to-box would be Ryan Gravenberch. And then in the 10, I'd be keeping Florian Wirtz, to be honest. And you guys are probably thinking, well, where's Dominic Szoboszlai? Dominic Szoboszlai would be at right back for me in this game. Jeremy Frimpong, I thought he was all right against Newcastle. Pretty poor, to be fair. Him and Kirkes weren't the best in that game. But Dominic Szoboszlai would be moving to right back. It just makes too much sense. I think it balances the team off really, really nicely. So that would be my back five. I think Alisson, Szoboszlai, Xhaka, Van Dijk and Kirkes at left back. Like I said, midfield, Nyoni, Gravenberch in the 8, Wirtz in the 10. But what about the front three? Are there going to be any changes there? I think there has to be, especially over on the right wing. On the right wing, Rio and Gamoa cannot play there. I'm sorry, he can't start there, certainly. And I'd actually feel a bit sorry for him if he does get another start there, because he struggles. He struggles to come up with solutions going up 1v1 against fullbacks. And that's something you would never normally say, because over on the left, he seems to always go past his fullback. But yeah, the angles are different. The dynamics are completely different on a new side. That's something he's got to get used to. Victor Munoz has to come in. Victor Munoz's cameo against Newcastle was so good. And yeah, I mean, his pace, his willingness, early kickoff at Anfield, I think it could be huge to see a new signing, someone with that much. He's got so much explosiveness. He's got so much to give, so much to offer. And coming off the back of winning the penalty against Newcastle, I think his confidence would be very high. And then down the middle, it has to be Isak. Over on the left would be Cody Gakpo. For me, obviously, rumours that he may still leave the club, but doesn't seem to be affecting his performance. Took his goal against Newcastle so well. That finish was incredible. Isak and Wirtz, big games for them. It really is, because the pressure is only going to build now. We need to we need a big performance from either of them just to quieten the noise from our own fans and obviously opposition fans. Still maintain that if Isak gets proper chances, I think he's going to bag. I think he's going to take them. And I think Munoz and Gakpo can do that. Wirtz, I've said I'm more worried about Wirtz. And in a game against Nottingham Forest, where they are a physical team, it could be difficult for him. He might not even start this game. He got hooked in the 60th minute against Newcastle. Iraola might go for a midfield of Szoboszlai in the 10, Gravenberch, McAllister or Nyoni. You never know. You really never know how Iraola's thinking about these players, because it's a clean slate for everyone. The only players, he's not brought in too many players himself. Xhaka was a January signing. He's brought in Munoz, which was clearly his guy, and Araujo, who could get a chance at right back as well. That's another option. You could play Araujo at right back, Xhaka and Van Dijk. That would fill me with more confidence. Just, we know what we're up against at home to Forest. They're going to play defensive, so Araujo on the ball, not ideal. Maybe in an away game, he could tuck round to create a back three, and then that would allow Kirkez to bomb on much more. And Barcola's an Iraola signing as well. But back to the point. I think Liverpool need to start this game super quick, because Nottingham Forest, they're so good at keeping clean sheets. They were, a couple seasons ago when they qualified for Europe. Last season was tricky for them. They still reached a European semi-final. They've lost Elliot Anderson, who's big in their midfield, but they still kind of got that core group of players who took them that far. Murillo always seems to have a good game against us. Milenkovic, even the goalkeeper sells. In 24-25 in the away game, remember he had an unbelievable game. Sangare is always decent. Ola Aina, Nico Williams, former Liverpool player. Then going forward, they've got some threats. Igor Jesus, Morgan, Gibbs, White. They can cause Liverpool an issue on transitions, but I think first and foremost, they'll be trying to keep a clean sheet and stem the flow of this Liverpool team. So we need to start quick. Get the fans up. Eliminate any nerves around the ground, because I think that's going to be inevitable. I was at the Monaco game during pre-season, and granted it was only a pre-season game, but you could sense, a new era, even though we went 2-0 up as well. And they got one goal back. It was a here we go kind of situation. So I would love an early goal. I would love a clean sheet, and I would love a simple 2-0 win. That would be the perfect day for Liverpool, in my opinion. Stop all of the negativity that came about from that Newcastle game. I actually felt pretty positive after it. The fact that we got a last-minute equaliser. We didn't lose the game. Of course, it wasn't a perfect performance at all. In fact, it was really poor at times. Certain individuals didn't play well. But you know what? It's early days. We knew it was going to be like this. We knew it was going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight, considering how bad we were last season. That has kind of set us back a couple of years. That's what it feels like. But this is a massive opportunity for Liverpool to get going with the news of Bradley Barcola. If we can win this game, kind of get a bit of momentum going into the third Premier League game week, where we've got some favourable fixtures. I think we've got Ipswich, is it Bournemouth and Fulham? I think it's those three. I mean, you look at those games, we should be picking up not maximum points, maybe out of 12, probably 10 points. And obviously, we drew the 1 to Newcastle. That's going to be a tough game whenever you play them, let alone the first game of the season with the whole Isak situation as well. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to predict a 2-0 Liverpool win. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below in the comments, team lineups, predictions, etc. Like I say, I'm going to be doing previews constantly throughout the season on this YouTube page, as well as long-form match reactions. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. And yeah, all of my links to my other pages, platforms will be in the description below. Let's hope that Liverpool get all 3 points. Let's go.